Bola Tinubu reacts after pregnant female lawyer Omobolanle Rahim was killed by a police officer. Hello everyone, welcome to Newsport TV. Wishing you all a Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2022-23 in advance. This is not a good news, just as we're thinking that we've had a silent Christmas in Nigeria where people are using their tongue to count their teeth. People praising God for being able to see the end of 2022, which was not one of the smoothest years in general in terms of the economy of Nigeria. On Christmas Day, it was sad to hear the news of this beautiful, promising, intelligent, industrious lawyer and real estate mogul, Bolanle Rahim, felled by a trigger-happy corpse. Now let's get into the news. Reports have been making rounds in social media that a female lawyer, Omobolanle Rahim, who was murdered by a police officer on her way back from church on Sunday in Ajah, Lagos State. She was shot in the car while her husband was beside her. However, reacting to the incident, the presidential candidate of the APC All Progressive Congress, Sh0ck Bola Tinubu, released a statement via his Twitter handle where he condemns the murder of Omobolanle. He said, "I share the grief and frustration of Nigerians over the senseless killing of Mrs. Omobolanle Rahim by a police officer on Christmas Day in Lagos. The avoidable tragedy, which cost the family a beloved member and her country a diligent legal professional, underscores yet again the crucial importance and urgency of reforming the Nigerian police." So this is what he said, and I continue. He said, it is important that this important institution must live up to its constitutional mandate of protecting the lives and keeping the peace. Encounters with law enforcement agents should not result in death and injury or undue harassment for law-abiding citizens. That is unacceptable. While I send my sincere condolence to Omobolanle's family, I urge the Inspector General of Police and other responsible authorities to ensure speedy justice in the matter and demonstrate even greater dedication to the nationwide implementation of measures designed to uphold professionalism within the police force. Okay, so this is Bola Tinubu speaking, and as people would say, when he tweeted this, they were like, this is a huge surprise. Bola Tinubu talking about this. Where was he when youths were talking about NSAS? Where was he? Was he able to talk the same way, when the NSAS protest was going on or when it turned into a massacre? Youths are still hurting. And for a fact, if Sh0ck Bola Tinubu has spoken like this when NSAS was happening, or to be, okay, let us listen to the youth and all of that at that point, it must be said that he might have been having a soft landing as far as his presidential ambition is concerned. But because of his silence at that time and the uncomforting words he later said online when he was interviewed, when he said he came back, he was abroad, that he came back after the incident and all that, youths are not taking that lightly at all with him. And the question now is it because electioneering period is near? We all see, whether people like to hear it or not, that our politicians show us the humane side of them. They show us that they have human feeling. They want us to feel that they understand the suffering or the yearnings of the people when they want to gather our sympathy before election. But over time, as we've learned, except we want to be economical with the truth, once they get into power, it's always a different ball game. That's when we always shout, we always yearn, we always pray, we always hope and believe that, they will intervene promptly and do something concrete. And not just say, oh, with utter shock, oh, we assure you, oh, we did this. And they will form a committee or a panel. And before we know it, the whole thing dies down. Till the next time that kind of thing happens again. This is a promising 42-year-old woman who has been sent to her early grave because she chose to drive out with her husband and a first child with a pregnancy of 7 months, and with her cousins and nieces on their way from church to go and buy pizza on a Christmas day. My people, it's what it is, and yes, a lot of lives were lost in NSAS is one situation that happened that has changed the narrative in Nigeria to say the youths are not happy, and we are back again to this talk of how safe are we with our law enforcement agents who are supposed to be protecting us and our properties are the ones cocking and using the trigger on their youths of our dear country, Nigeria. May the beautiful soul of Bolanle Rahim rest in perfect peace. And honestly, we don't know what to say. We're just believing and hoping that one day we'll be able to take our country back and elect leaders who will be ready to protect our lives, our properties, the integrity of being a Nigerian. And people will keep asking, why are Nigerians jackpotting? This is one of the reasons why our brightest professionals, citizens are leaving the country. Not just because they are not making money here, some are making money, but because they will tell you their lives are not secure. So what's the point of continually, and the trauma that this woman's first child, an 8-year-old girl, whose very presence her mother was felt by the trigger-happy cops. What kind of memory will she have all her life, especially about how the children will always see, the image they'll always have about security officers. We have countries where their security officers rarely carry guns. They have other things that they carry, in order to maybe immobilize people or whatever it is. But in Nigeria, I think we are always very trigger happy to use this on our fellow citizens who have done absolutely nothing wrong. May God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next news. Bye for now.